Hey guys, this is Cybershocker, and you guessed it, it's a brand new commentary. And this is apparently a commentary on a rant on commentaries. And I gotta thank Wave3436 for doing a one-shot commentary on it. However, I thought it didn't do that much justice, so I decided to do one myself. Well anyway, let's stop talking and tear this video apart.
And it looks like we're on to number 4. Well, folks, can you really say you're surprised by this point? I know I sure can't. Then again, I'm not retarded.
I thought we were watching a rant on commentaries, not a how-to video on how to wash your hands.
And speaking of retards, let me introduce you to our commentator today, the focus of this video, Cybershock455. Now, this is usually where I would show you their profile page and give you a little background information about them. However, Mr. Shock left this comment on my profile, which, in my eyes, basically means, haha, I've set this up, it'll be fun and cute. So I had a brilliant idea. I have a lot of them, so don't be too surprised. And so, instead of doing the normal introduction, what I've decided to do today is bring in a special guest commentator, somebody to do a dual commentary on this video. That person happens to be somebody that Cybershock455 has already commented on. I'd like to introduce you to James, the Ranter. James, come on out and introduce yourself.
You!
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, let's get this started. What do you say, James?
You go yourself, you dumb ass.
Okay, here we go.
Commentaries. Essentially, it's you inviting yourself into a conversation no one asked you to join. New media's equivalent of syphilis, something which is easily spread and, in hindsight, embarrassing to admit having caught. The symptoms are unique, generally inflicting the user with a massively swollen ego, strained vocal cords, Tourette's-like speech patterns, and the inability to shut the fuck up.
Really? I thought commentaries were made just for fun and to give criticism.
Oh no, you're absolutely right, Cybershock455. They are there for fun and to give criticism. In fact, let me give you a little bit of criticism, just like you gave James the Ranter. You remember that video you did on him? Let me refresh your memory with this opening segment.
Well, he's James! James Ranter, he's James! James Ranter is James. I'm thinking about all different stuff. James the Ranter.
That was a good intro, I guess.
Ah yes, do you remember that comment? The comment where you said, it's okay, where you shrugged off this child's creativity? Now, here comes that criticism you're so fond of. Here you are making a video on an 8-year-old who made his own introduction song, played his own musical instrument, created his own graphics, used his own CG, and crafted an opening which is 100% his and original. He didn't take that from a Google search. He didn't get that from an image search. He made that. He sung that. He edited that. And he put it together. And he's 8 fucking years old. Your introduction, on the other hand, are wallpapers that professional artists made. You just have 3 images that repeat after one another while you overlay Windows Movie Maker titles on top of them. So, I'm curious, since you like criticism so much, how does it feel to be bested by an 8-year-old?
Like syphilis, it's a communicable disease, every day spreading deeper and deeper within various communities until none are left pure from its touch. Persistent, virulent, never ceasing in its mission to make users create more and more useless content.
First off, you're comparing a sexually transmitted disease that murders people to a type of video most people do just for fun.
Everybody, let's give a round of applause to Mr. Cybershock. He is a rare man indeed. He's the only person I know who possesses access to Doctor Who's TARDIS, because he has to be traveling back in time if he thinks syphilis kills people. Ah yes, the age of antibiotics. You know, I even hear they have horseless carriages nowadays, but I think that might be witchcraft.
Secondly, how are commentaries considered useless? A lot of people like commentaries, me myself included, and commentaries can actually teach people how to make better videos in the future. So I don't get why you think commentaries are considered, quote, useless content, unquote.
I hate you.
Well said, James. Well said.
Unless YouTube creates some form of digital prophylactic, we'll all just have to learn to be a little more careful. We'll have to become more cautious in who we come into contact with, since one of the favorite delivery methods for this terrible pox is its ability to jump host merely through watching an infected user's videos. People will have to be more diligent in not promoting its growth and spread throughout the various content sites that exist.
Why are you making commentaries look like they're the next swine flu epidemic? This is what this guy does throughout the whole video. He tries to over-exaggerate commentaries like it's a serious problem affecting the whole country. Like it's supposed to be taken serious. See, really, that's all he does.
Oh, Cyber, how can I explain this to you? Well, you know what? First, I'm gonna get rid of this picture. I want to try to relate to you. I want to reach you on your level. You like Grimjaw, right? There we go. Now we're on the same level. You appreciate this character, so I'm sure you'll listen to me now that I put up one of his awesome pictures. The reason I don't like commentaries, the reason I made that video, should be pretty apparent from the content of the video itself. The fact that you don't know why I don't like commentaries after watching an entire video that talked about why commentaries are terrible tells me that you shouldn't be commenting on things in the first place.
What is this accursed blight? How does it operate? Where does it come from? Well, let's take a moment to examine its many guises and see if we can discover some of the answers to those questions. Just what is a commentary anyway?
Gee, I don't know. You're the one asking.
God, I'm so angry. I just want to play the f***ing glockenspiel.
As I'd stated earlier, it's when a person believes that their own opinion is something so important, they need to interject it into any discussion that doesn't involve them.
Really? You think all commentaries are like this? I'm sorry, but wouldn't you say the same exact thing to, oh say, regular YouTube comments? Also, as commentators, we have every right to point out every flaw in the video and give constructive criticism on it. It's much more than just stating an opinion.
You have every right to comment on it. Well, no you don't. YouTube is a privately owned business. You have no rights with them. This isn't the United States we're talking about. This isn't the United Nations we're talking about. This isn't a God-given right. It's a video on a company's website. You have no rights when it comes to that. It's a luxury that you can even comment, let alone make videos. As far as constructive criticism goes, that argument hinges on one main point. Namely, for criticism to be constructive, it has to be coherent. And I'm sorry, my friend, you fail on that regard.
But it would appear the best way to coax a commentary out of another user is to do everything but specifically talk about them. Whether you're talking about their friends, the weather, or just dish soap, as long as you don't mention them, it's a near guarantee they'll feel obligated to mention you. Like flies on shit, commentators are instinctively drawn to anything and everything. And while that analogy might not make sense to you right now, a commentator will eventually stumble onto this video and they'll decide to make a commentary about that one line in particular. You see, it's just that easy.
Yes, I'm commentating on this video right now. However, the reason why I'm doing this is to call out all of the flaws you make in this video, and how senseless your comparisons are.
I have no f***ing friends, no f***ing girlfriend, and no f***ing life. So f*** you.
It's just that easy. They can't help themselves. It's a compulsion, like drinking or using cocaine or masturbating. They're spurred on by something stronger than them. Anytime they come across a video which is getting attention, something inside their little heads clicks, and they're driven to try and latch onto it.
Once again, we have every right to point out the flaws of a video. It's not just a compulsion, it's just a way to give criticism.
Ah, Cyber, if only you could be as reasonable as Grimjaw. Damn it.
They are utterly powerless before it. Instead of creating something on their own which is original or unique or has vision, they find it easier instead to merely ride the coattails of someone else's work.
So you're basically saying that commentaries are just us copying the person just to get famous on YouTube?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. My God, I think it's getting through. Yes, yes. Boom! Are you a construction worker? Because you just hit the nail on the head. Holy shit!
Quick question. Aren't commentaries supposed to be made just for fun?
Like parasites, once they attach themselves, it's nearly impossible to shake them off. From that point onward, they'll respond to any and every video another user makes. nitpicking details which don't need to be nitpicked, and calling out things the user says as if they need to be called out in the first place. And
Once again, we have every right to point out all the flaws in a video. This'll be my last time I'll repeat myself.
time they're doing this, they'll be utterly convinced that what they're doing is both entertaining and informative.
Commentaries are informative because they give advice on how to do a video, how to make better points, how to improve, how to be a better person on the internet, and what you should put in a video. And yes, commentaries are also entertaining as well. The commentator could make various jokes, use hilarious clips, and being smart and witty throughout the commentary. Even though all of that is completely optional, commentaries are still fun and entertaining to watch.
Really? Really? You're really going to say that? Exactly that? After the point in the video you're commenting on says that people who make commentaries are utterly convinced that what they're doing is entertaining and informative. You will then go on to make the statement with a serious look on your face saying that yes, the point of commentaries is to be entertaining and informative, and you are utterly convinced of this. Are you mentally retarded?
In actuality, however, it's not. It's not entertaining. It's not informative. Instead, what it is a desperate attempt on their part to try and gain attention for themselves.
Care to explain why, dude? I mean, I gave my reasons why I think commentaries are both informative and entertaining. The least you could do is give reasons why you not think that. No? Then your point fails.
Now, much like syphilis or any other communicable disease, there are different subtypes, similar to cancer in that they can be classed together even though they may vary in form.
There he goes again, comparing a sexually transmitted disease,
Cancer,
sexually transmitted disease,
cancer,
sexually transmitted disease,
cancer,
sexually transmitted disease,
cancer.
sexually transmitted disease, to a type of video most of us do just for fun.
So let's take a moment to evaluate these different kinds of commentaries to see what each is like and what each has to offer. Ah, the cutaway. Favorite amongst the 13-year-old furry demographic on YouTube.
Where the hell did you get that from? Encyclopedia Dramatica?
I have no idea what Encyclopedia Dramatica is. I don't own an encyclopedia. I don't really need one. And I'm not even sure what that has to do with the conversation. Why would an encyclopedia know anything about this? This is the internet. Please, I'd like you to do a video response in detail discussing what Encyclopedia Dramatica is and telling me all your personal thoughts about it. Be sure to emphasize why you like or dislike them. And please, underneath in the video description, give me your name, address, phone number, and any other relevant biographical and geographical information.
Seems to have grown greatly in popularity within the past few years. Generally comprised of the use of reaction images being interspersed throughout the video being commented on, it also boasts the ability to lengthen most 5-minute videos into 50-minute ones. This is mainly due to the inability of the commenter to audio duck. The result? A cutaway which happens every time the person doing the commentary wants to say something, whether that be every minute, every few seconds, or even every other word. A common characteristic of this type of commentary is the overuse of a small sample of reaction images, which is understandable. After all, Google image search can only supply so many Pikachus until you've reached the bottom of the barrel. One other interesting note is the overabundance in use of anime characters. This would seem to hint at the fact that the vast majority who choose this style are in fact weeaboos.
I'll be back for another rant soon, motherfuckers. You.
Well, good going. Are you happy now, Mr. Shock? Are you satisfied you made him leave? You actually made an 8-year-old leave because you were acting like a fucking idiot. That's impressive. Most preteens will put up with any sense of humor out there, but when you use Captain Picard with the most cliched sound effect that exists, why, he left. He left. He's gone. Good going. Bravo. Way to go. Good one on that. Do you want to complete this? Do you want to bring it full circle? You want to stamp the word fail on top of it with 38 exclamation points over it? I mean, how can we really just gay the shit out of that up? That's just wow. Wow. An 8-year-old just left. Think about it. A fucking 8-year-old walked out on your stand-up routine.
My god, why are you calling us weeaboos? just because we use an anime character we happen to like. This is just like telling us that we're all gay because we use an avatar that's opposite our gender, or furries because we use an anthropomorphic animal we happen to like. People, leave our avatars alone, and let us just use them just for the fun of it.
See, you're missing a key point here. You're not weeaboos, or furries, or faggots because you happen to like those things. You are those terms because that's all you are. Every video you have up has anime in it. You display yourself, you represent yourself with anime. That's how we know you. If that's how you're going to represent yourself, that's what I'm going to call you. Now, if you did videos where you had pictures of William Shakespeare up there, I might not think you're a complete fucking moron. But you don't. You have pictures of Grimjaw. You have pictures of Bleach and Naruto. You, dear sir, are a weeaboo.
Second most popular style of commentary utilizes a basic feature in most video and audio editing programs called audio ducking. This refers to the lessening of the original video's audio track to allow the commentator to be heard over it in real time. Unlike the cutaway style of commentary, this one adds nothing in other than a new audio track, thus keeping the original video's length intact. This style of commentary can be traced back to a patient zero of sorts, directly to Retsupre. After SA Goons decided to begin doing their own brand of commentary on LPers within the YouTube community, it quickly spawned a whole host of imitators. Sadly, these imitations lack the one thing that made Retsupre successful, namely, humor. Without the ability to actually be funny, these videos are just as god-awful as any other type of commentary to be found.
Who said you needed to have good humor to be a good commentator? I mean, it does make you look entertaining, but that's not really a requirement. All you need to do is to commentate on what needs to be commentated on, and that's it. Also, I'm skipping number 3 because I've never seen a commentary done like that before.
Yeah, who said you need to be funny? Certainly not the audience. Or at least not your audience, because you don't have one. Because nobody watches your videos. Because they're terribly unfunny.
Final type on the list has, over the last year or so, become more prevalent. With so many videos being commented on, the choices to pick from have become more and more limited and have led to retreads, or commentaries on commentaries on commentaries. The most notable feature of this type of commentary is the inability to tell who's commenting on what, since by this point, so many loud retards are yelling at one another that you might as well close your eyes and sit and spin.
To be honest, I somewhat agree with you on this. Since so many people talk at the same time, it ends up becoming confusing on who's talking at who and what they're referring to. So I somewhat agree with you there.
Well, that is sweet of you. But remember, you still are a giant goddamn weeaboo.
Sadly, current projections show that this will soon be the only kind of commentary around within the next 3 years, culminating in what some have called Google's final solution, in which YouTube will only have one video available, which is comprised of every video on the site. The sound emitted by this final video will have a brown note-like effect on users and cause their heads to implode, thus bringing an end to the commentators once and for all.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell did you just say?
All I was saying is that sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to throw it in an oven.
Culminating in what some have called Google's final solution, in which YouTube will only have one video available, which is comprised of every video on the site. The sound emitted by this final video will have a brown note-like effect on users and cause their heads to implode, thus bringing an end to the commentators once and for all. Called Google's final solution, in which YouTube will only have one video available, which is comprised of every video on the site. The sound emitted by this final video will have a brown note-like effect on users and cause their heads to implode, thus bringing an end to the commentators once and for all.
That has got to be the most brain-dead comment I have ever heard. In fact, this doesn't even deserve a facepalm. Heck, not even a desk palm. Instead, I'll let honest reviews show you.
Translation: I couldn't find a Grimjaw picture with his head in his hands. Sorry, guys. Google ran out. I officially hit the bottom of the barrel.
So now that we know what a commentary is and the different types that exist, we're left wondering, what now? What do we do? How do we live out these next 3 years until Google's final plan is realized? Well, you could turn off the internet, but that's silly. After all, most people's imaginations just can't compete with hardcore porn. So that option's off the table. I suppose we could try and avoid video content sites, but if we do that, where are we going to get our fix of cats playing the piano or people getting kicked in the balls? No, it would seem that the best solution is simply to not be a part of the problem. We need to make a concentrated effort to stem the tide. And how do we do that? Simple. Stop making commentaries. See? I told you it was simple, didn't I?
Sorry, but no one is gonna listen to you. Do you want to know why? For one thing, you over-exaggerated how commentaries are, comparing them to a life-threatening disease. You came off as very biased and egotistical, and you used stupid points and assumed that every commentary is just an invasion of privacy and a way to get attention. If I had to compare this video to someone else's, I'd compare it to Guptil89. Sure, the video was, in a technical standpoint, good, but the reasoning was just terrible, and you came off egotistical. Well, that's the end of both the original video and the commentary, so this is CyberShocker455, and I'll see you later.
Ah yes, my video was truly terrible, wasn't it? Having no valid points whatsoever. At no time did Mr. Shock ever use a cutaway, ever use an anime character, ever echo over another part of a video. No, none of those things ever happened. I'm sure that I was totally off the mark because he was completely original in his video. Oh no, wait. He totally wasn't. I guess I was right. It's funny. It's funny that you get upset that I tell you you're a weeboo. It's funny you get upset that I tell you the video content you like to create is worthless and pretty much useless. So, Mr. Shock, before you get upset with me for calling you a stupid weeaboo and telling you your videos are shit, heed the words of the person who's about to speak next, because I think they pretty much summed it up when it comes to you.
Oh God, another kid that doesn't know how the internet works at all.